Hey everyone, this is the letter assessment. So this is how you're going to do the uppercase and lowercase letter assessment. There's a couple different things that you can assess at this point. And again, you can figure out what is the best thing that you want to assess right now for your child. You may want to assess them first on just identifying uppercase letters. That's it. That's all you want them to know. You want to see how many uppercase letters do they know. And that's all you're going to assess. If you want to assess uppercase and lowercase, you could do a combination of both. If you want to assess how do they know their letter sounds, you can also assess that. You can also assess whether they can write the letter that you tell them. So there's 4 different things. You can do just the uppercase, just the lowercase. You can do a combo of both of those. You could do the letter sounds. You could do the writing the letter. So there's 4 different types of assessment. What you're going to need for this is you're going to need your letter cards. I already cut mine out here. They came in the sheet, and I did provide in your kit just one of these little binder clips. You can also get another one or a rubber band. Another thing you could do is you could 3-hole punch them and put a ring on them. There's a lot of different ways you can hold them together, but these little binder clips are nice. And you're able to kind of hold them together and keep them in place. So that's a little tip there. When you cut them out, you are going to see that you have 4 extra cards. You don't have to throw these away. These are perfect if your child has 2 letters of the same, 2 letters in their name, like Ella has 2 L's. So if I want to practice her getting her name, spelling her name with our letter cards, I could use these blank cards and write an L on it, uppercase or lowercase, depending on what we're going to practice. So keep these cards. They're blank for a reason. That's why I made them and left them on there. You guys can use them for a lot of different things. Maybe it's their name. Maybe it is a specific letter, whatever you guys want to keep those for. So that's what those are there for. The other thing you're going to want to use is you're going to get the dry erase board here. And what I'm going to have you actually do is I'm going to have you flip it. What I would like is for the black line to be on top, because the way I like to teach it is the line on top is the green line. That's kind of like the go line. You start up there. And now that's not the case for all of them, but that is sometimes the case. You're going to start at the top, okay? The red line at the bottom is our stopping part. So that's the best way, and I'll see if you guys can see that. So, and you can flip it however you want, whatever works best. Maybe your child, likes the red at the top. It doesn't really matter, but one of the tools that I teach is if you look at a line and there's a green, that's a great place to start. If there's a red, you want to stop so they're not going past it. So that's one thing here. You're going to want your dry erase marker. If you are trying to assess their letters, if they're writing the letters, okay? If you're just practicing or assessing to see if they know their uppercase letters or lowercase letters, you're not even going to need the dry erase board. But if you want to see what letters they can write, that's a good tool here. All right, in your pink folder, you are going to get your checklist here, okay? So there's the uppercase letter checklist and the lowercase letter checklist. Again, right now, the assessment that I'm going to have you do is just identifying the letters. Once we get past identifying the letters and you're like, all right, Christine, they know how to identify their letters, then we're going to move on to the sounds and writing, okay? One small thing on these checklists, please note that it says 2 week 5s. If you could just cross off one of those week 5s and put a week 4, that would be awesome. I do apologize for that small error there on those. Okay, so what you're going to need is you're going to need your checklist, okay? Like I said, we're just going to do uppercase. You're going to need this checklist, and this is week 1, all right? And what you're going to do is you're going to mix up your uppercase letter cards. Your lowercase letter cards, I'm going to put them off to the side. I just want to see what uppercase letters my child knows. I'm going to mix them up. I don't want them in order, okay? And you can have that, but I don't think that's a great tool to have in the back. If you have like the alphabet or something, just kind of be giving your child these cards kind of by themselves, right? So there's no other things around them. So you would put this card out and you would say, okay, what letter is this? And if they were to say this is S, great, just give it a little check mark, okay? If they're not sure, say no worries, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Just let's move on to the next letter. Do you know what this letter is? And then you can continue to go through all 26 letters. Now, if your child is getting very frustrated, like maybe they don't know any of these letters, do 5 to 10 of them at a time, okay? Then go and play a game. Get the jump rope and say, hey, can we jump rope a few times? Or, roll the dice a few times, or just do a couple jumping jacks. Something to kind of get their mind off of it for a minute, and then say, okay, you know what? Can you do 5 more for me? Can we do 5 more until they're all complete, okay? Sometimes when a child sees a whole stack of something like this or a whole list, this can become very overwhelming to someone, okay? And so a little tool that I love, number one, just taking a few of those cards, like, hey, we're just going to go over these cards right here, okay? And you can cover up the checklist with your folder, and so that they cannot see all of the letters, okay? Because sometimes we're like, whoa, that's a lot. That paper is blank and empty, and like that's a lot of work that I have to do. And they don't realize that it's really not. So once you kind of get through this small stack and you feel like, whoa, they're on fire. Hey, can you do 5 more for me? Maybe they don't need a break, okay? That's the uppercase. And then maybe if you want to assess their lowercase, you want to do both of them at the same time, you can. Or if you just want to do one or the other, uppercase first and then lowercase, you can totally do that. So there is an uppercase checklist as well as a lowercase checklist here. I did not include a writing or sounds, but if that's something you want to do, you're welcome to use that same checklist, make a copy of it even, or ask me and I can send you a new one, okay? And you can print it out. Here comes Alex. So the other thing you can do after they're identifying is you can ask them the sounds. So you can say, okay, what sound does this make? And just do that. And if they get the sounds, you just mark a check. You could also do, hey, can you write me the letter S? They're obviously not going to be able to see the cards, right? They're just going to write what letter it is. So that could be another assessment. The final assessment would be to match up the uppercase and lowercase. So this is a game that we're going to play, but this is something you may want to check at the beginning of our 6 weeks time together. You may want to give them 5 of the uppercase cards and 5 of the lowercase cards and say, okay, can you match up these 5 uppercase and 5 lowercase? Once they do that, give them another 5. Give them another 5 until they're all gone. Because sometimes giving all 26 at one time is very overwhelming. So if you just want to kind of see what do they know, break it up into small chunks, take breaks as needed. If you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to let me know and ask away. Again, you can ask me in Facebook, Messenger, text me, or you can send me an email. But if you guys need any help with this, let me know, and I can't wait to see your child's progress as they continue through this program. All right, guys, have a great day. See each moment as a chance to learn, create, and have fun. Bye, guys.